Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks to all those who availed, left comments and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. In my previous videos, I had started the topic of coming abroad, and in each video, I have spoken about the thoughts and preparation, arrivals and integration, and I did following rules and regulations. Today, we will be talking on finding your ground. Finding your ground. So that's just finding where you belong. Probably you're here in a country that you want to go and you've been there for 2, 3, 4, even 8 months. You're still, relatively new, but you think, this is home for me. It's always good to find a place or find some kind of sense of belonging, where you belong, you share common values, cultures, and traditions. Always very good to find your grounds. Again, I say welcome to Facts, Issues, and Realities. So today, finding your grounds. What do I mean by finding your grounds? Just find a place you can call a family place. For instance, for those who are very religious, you have the Christians, the Muslims, the Jewish, whatever kind of faith you hold on to. Find those who pertain in the same faith as you. Those you want to go to church with, you want to read the Bible with, you want to recite the Quran, worship, with the Quran, go to the mosque with, just a sense of belonging. Those who do what you believe in, those you can actually learn from, those you can get, things from pertaining to values and your visions. Also, you have communities, right? For instance, you're in the US, let's say you're in Chicago. You could have, for instance, for my Nigerian community, you could have the Nigerian community of Chicago. You can have the African community of Chicago. I'm in Windsor, so we have the Nigerian community of Windsor, the African community of Windsor. We also have the Black community of Windsor. So, just a community that those in that community, you guys share the same values, you share the same identities, just cultures, just people you can, work together with, you can speak to in times of trouble, you can run to them for help, and, they know where and, how to get these things done. So it's very, very important to find where to belong. Two things I must discuss about. First is your identity. Belonging is one thing. The second thing is your identity. To be able to be identified. In my previous videos, I have always mentioned that I always love to state my name, my full name, let them know who I am. I don't always like to shorten my name. It's my full name. Let people identify with me. A lot of people that they do refer to me, when they call me and I state my full name, it's either they're comfortable or uncomfortable, right? Because some would say, oh, she's Nigerian. You drop the phone. Some, oh yeah, she's Nigerian. I can relate with her. They speak to me. So I love for people to always give their full identity. That way you can actually find where you belong. See, you have your full identity, then you can find where you belong. Or someone can help you find where where you really belong. So getting to know people, letting people get to know you, get informations, resources, get things done, get help, and also a great way to facilitate, settling. Always good to find a common ground. So I know that long time ago, it was a norm that when you travel overseas from any country, you're going overseas, it was very, very important for you to register your arrival at the home office, whichever country you're going. It used to be a norm. I know about it because I had my dad be one of the executives of something that everywhere we traveled to, we had to register our arrival at those countries. Recently, I don't think people do that anymore. I don't know. And I know that it was for a good cause. It was for a good reason. It was for a good cause to register your arrival so people know you've arrived And those back home expecting to hear from you, they just know, okay, if I can hear from them, I just have to call the home office and they let me know that this person has arrived. And understand that in those days, we didn't have this great communications and technologies at that time. So yes, basically that was one of the reasons why it was very, very important for you when you travel overseas. You get to register your arrival, register where you are. So if your people cannot reach you immediately, they can always call the home office just to find out if you have arrived, if you're okay, and all that. So yes, it still happens. It still happens whenever you go. If you just want to call and let them know, just for security purposes, that you're in that country. So yes, finding your grounds, very, very important. So many things to benefit in finding your grounds. Remember, I said communities. For those who go on religious, finding your grounds on religious basis, that's fine. You get to go to church together or go to mosque together. Have people you can worship with. That's fine. However, I prefer the community because that way you guys get a lot of things to share together, a lot of experience from where you're coming from, a lot of how they can help you proceed in this journey that you are in. It's so depressing sometimes for people. When you go to a country, especially somewhere you've never been before, you have no friends, no relatives, it's just you. It's always such a quiet time, lonely time, that you really at some point would need someone to talk to. However, if you had found your grounds, you belong to a community, you would always get some people to call, you would always get some people to speak with, you would always get some people to go back to in case you need some information or one kind of help or the other. Very, very important. The community. I work with the community, and I work in different capacities, and I love the way that we get to reach out to ourselves, reach out everywhere, reach out to people. I can be at work today and I get a call. Oh, we have a new arrival. A Nigerian has just arrived. This is a name. This is what she did back home. I just put the phone call to, hey, hi, I'm also a Nigerian. This is what I do. So get to hook up. We get to talk. We're already forming a family. So if that person has a problem, she can always call me. Even if I cannot solve or help solve the problem, I can always refer because I have the resources and I'm able to refer to someone she's able, to get help from. Finding your grounds, being in a community. I'm going to share two examples, two very, very, important examples. First, we had this young boy. He came in as a student. This is sometime this year. And it was about 4 or 5 months in Canada here. And he had started work and he was doing so well. All of a sudden, nobody knew where he was anymore. Well, I won't say nobody knew because we didn't even know him, right? No one heard about him. No one knew anything. So later in the summer, his brother came in from the US. The brother was in the States. So he came in, asking for this boy. I'm looking for my brother, this. We didn't know him. We had no information. So he had said, oh, he was working at this company. And that's the last, place I know he was working. So yes, we did go there. Those in the company were also looking for him. They tried his number. His number was not reachable, this. So we tried to get the address, his last address. By the time they got to the house, they found the guy there and he was dead. He was dead. He was swollen. We had to call the cops in. They took out his body. But what am I saying? He has been there probably for 4 or 5 days. No one knew. No one knew him. It's such a sad situation that he had to take the brother to come, to come to Canada and find out what has happened to his brother because the last time he spoke to him was about 2 weeks ago. Now, from what we heard, probably he was sick. He was very sick. And because here in Canada, foreigners are not given recourse to health like you. Without your health are not being sponsored, you have to pay to get medicals. So probably he came and going to the hospital, he just felt, no, that's so expensive, I can't pay, I can't afford it, and he just kept using some medications on his own and he passed on. Now if you're in a community and you cannot afford these expenses, there are ways to go around. However, You have to be in the community. The community has to know that this person exists. This person is part of us. This person is black, is Asian, is European. This person is from here. We know him and he has called that it needs help. This is where they come in. But first and foremost, you have to belong to that community. You have to be identified with that community. That was how we lost this young lad sometime in June, and that's it. Very, very sad situation. Another situation, we had this young girl. She used to sell, I think, family forever living products, and we used to meet her at the salon. Once in a while, she would come, to the salon. Would meet her, would gist, would talk. We just knew her first name. We didn't even know her last name, and we didn't really know anything. Every time we kept saying, "Oh, when are you gonna come for this event?" "Oh yeah, I'll try," but she never showed up. Now, when we didn't see her for a long time, we decided to ask questions. By the time we were going to find out about, a whereabouts, we realized she was also dead. She was dead and her body was cremated. And we later found out she was married to a white guy. And he said he just wanted the body cremated and that was her last wish. We didn't even know if she was sick. We couldn't ask questions. The guy just cut the whole community away, saying, I never knew you guys. You guys were never there. We didn't know her. And one painful thing that I can guarantee is our families may not even know what happened. Because we were asking, what about our families? And the guy kept saying, well, I don't know anybody. This. We don't even have any clue what happened to this lady. There are families. I'm sure they're still thinking, oh, she's in Canada. She's okay. Without knowing all these things. It's so important. I know a lot of people do come abroad and they have this, I don't know, some kind of orientation that people tell them, oh, don't mingle with them. Don't mingle with that. Listen, mingle. There are times you would have problems that those people you think should not be mingled with are the ones that are going to help you. I'm not saying from a gossip club. I'm not saying from a hatred. No, I'm not saying all that. What I'm saying is, wherever you are, whatever country you decide to make your home, try to engage yourself in the community. If it's just going for the picnic events or one events, trying to meet people in a community, you meet doctors, you meet lawyers, you meet a lot. We have lots of doctors in our community that when you're sick, they can actually prescribe for you free. Because you're in the community and you don't have, you're still waiting for your papers, you're waiting for your immigration documents, or you're going to have to pay when you go to the hospital. These are where they come in to help. We have people that, you have, you just had a baby or you're going through a process of having a baby. There are people that we recommend that would help you on no cost. It's so important that you find somewhere to belong, find somewhere to call your home, your culture. We share the same values. Okay, I love to meet people, and it's part of what I do in the community, to meet people, help them, and get to make them get what they want. But again, if we don't come together, if you as a newcomer, you're not coming into the community, how do we get to meet you? How do we get to share, whatever we have with you? For instance, you come to, say you're in the US and you have a community in the US and you're somebody that you need this, you need that, you need somehow to get away. I'm going to give you a good example. I had a lady who came into Canada, Windsor in particular, and she was expecting a baby, and she was still waiting for immigration documents to come in. So she had no recourse to a lot of things. She couldn't get money, she couldn't work, she couldn't go to the hospital, she couldn't do this, she couldn't do that. So she was referred to me. So at the time she was referred to me, she had to go through, the antenatal stuff and all that. So because it's a community work, right? I have resources available to me. So I gave her the resources to go meet this doctor. This is the doctor you go meet that would help you out at this stage and at this time. And when you're done, this is where you have to go. There's a facility here that provides you newborns with everything they need, everything they require. Go here and register for this. Just let them know it's from me, this. Those are the things that you will get when you belong to a community. A community that helps you, a community that is with you, a community that will stand for you. Very, very important that you belong to this community to be able to get all this help. Also, So I have also had issues of people telling me when they came abroad, for the first time, they met some people that told them before they could get this resources, they have to pay them, they have to give them money for this, they have to give them money before they can help them, do these things. Understand that I want to believe that in most countries, most developed countries that you're going to, you need not pay for any resources. I want to believe that most resources should be free. So be very careful what kind of community you're getting involved in. Be sure that it's a community that is probably registered. Be sure that it's a community that the government is even aware of. You can do your research. Ask questions. Find out these things. Very, very important that you know that, oh, I'm not just joining a community, but I'm joining a registered community, a recognized community, a community that can help me, that can give me, because at some point it will be your turn to give back to that community. So important. There are so many options. So where you want to belong. You have the African community. You can have the Asian community. You can have the Black community, the European, the Italian, Spanish. So many. But it's just important that you belong to one community or the other, just so you believe or you have this kind of sense of belonging. Also, there's always a sense of belonging when you're involved in a community, especially when you have children. You're going for an event, you belong to this community, you have your children go with you, they meet other children from that community, especially we of, the African or Black descendants. Sometimes your children do face discriminations in school, they do face all sorts, but going to a community where they all look the same, where they all act the same. Sometime 2 weeks ago, we had the situation of this children at the park being discriminated upon, and the community came together. And sometime this week, we're going to be having a march, against that, to make the park free for all. See where the community comes in? The community is standing up to say, no, we don't want this discrimination. And that's where the community is important. But if they do not belong to a community, no one is going to stand for them. So it's so important. It might look like, what am I talking about? Why do I need a community? I'm fine. I got things going on my own. I can make it work on my own. But hey, you need a community. You need a place to be involved with. You need someone to talk to. You need someone to share ideas with. And in my community right now, my city where I live, we, the Black community did do a package and left it at every border city that as new